I'm Brock with Straight Line Delivery, and welcome back to Step 7 in a 10-part series to help you decide if trucking might be right for you. A hotshot truck will fit in a driveway. A semi won't. Hotshot truck looks nice and is usable on the weekends for hauling your campers and things like that. Semi's a little bit bigger, a little bit more space to keep it when you're not using it. A hotshot, like we talked about in the other video, works Monday through Friday minimum. That's really the best way to do it if you want to maximize it. If you've got other financial goals that are less than what we've talked about, earning $150,000 a year, then less days a week is possible, of course. You can be home weekends and holidays. You can work them. A 48-foot flatbed semi has a much larger territory than a 40-foot hotshot. Our 40-foot hotshots do the best when they're in steel country, and that means from Milwaukee, Wisconsin to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And then from there on out to New Jersey, Maryland, Connecticut, places like that. They don't do so well in the South or in the West. A 48-foot flatbed semi, on the other hand, can travel just about anywhere in America at once because freight is designed around the 48 feet, 48,000 pound capacity range. So that's what freight is set up for. Hot shots are a little bit more unique in what they'll hold and what they're designed to carry, and so that limits their spaces a little bit as far as where they can operate at a maximum profit in the country. You can live anywhere you want and drive a hot shot or a semi truck, but that will change the schedule that you're able to keep. And here's what I mean. If you live between Milwaukee and Pittsburgh, you live in this section here, then you can drive a hot shot and you can be home every weekend because you're most likely going to be going along in that sort of L-shaped pattern along the northern parts of Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. So that's going to be just fine. That's going to work out fine. If you live somewhere differently than that, if you live way out west or way down south, then you may want to plan to be out a couple of weeks at a time to maximize your profits, because if you live in Texas or Florida and you're going to run in the type of areas I'm talking about, well, then you're going to need to be prepared to run a 5-day week, stay out that weekend, and run some more, and then come home and take a reset. Whereas if you have a 48-foot semi-truck, you can make it part of your route to swing by your house no matter where you live in the whole continental United States, more or less. So there's a lot more freight opportunities for people if they've got a 48-foot flatbed semi. Let's say you were spending $100,000 on each setup. 40-foot hotshot truck and trailer combo, 48-foot semi-truck. You could buy a used semi-truck, live out in the middle of nowhere, and earn a pretty good living and be home as much as a hotshot driver. The hotshot driver doesn't have that same luxury. So it depends on where you live in the country, and it depends on what your schedule to be. That'll determine how profitable and realistic your hotshot goals are. The reason people would like to drive a hotshot instead of a semi, I believe, is it's a little less intimidating if you're not that experienced with driving larger trucks. It's something with a multi-purpose use. Again, you can use it to haul your camper. It can be a daily driver when you're off work. I know guys that take a hotshot load to Florida for spring break, put the trailer in a storage facility, and then they've got a truck to drive around Florida. So they got paid to go to vacation, and then on the way home we'll find them something coming out of Florida back into their hot lane. They drop their family off and then they get right back to work. So they're making money while they're having a good time. Little tougher to do that with a semi, but definitely possible. A hotshot load is more of a one-off or specialty or emergency piece of freight, generally speaking. So for instance, is if you've got a steel mill that sends out 40-foot lengths of pipe all day, that's all they do. They make pipe and they put it on trucks and they ship it. That's all they do. Okay, some of those are eligible to the 40-foot hotshot. Some of them that are full loads have to go on a semi because they're 40,000+ pounds. Now, when that shop has pipes that are 40 feet long and only 10,000 pounds, because that's all this particular customer ordered, then that'd be an example where a Hotshot would be a great fit for that piece of freight. But again, they're loading up 20 full-size trucks a day and maybe one Hotshot a day. Another great example I see a lot is there is a factory who makes pipes, but their pipe cutting machine needs to be refurbished. So they have some riggers come in, they unbolt it from the floor, and they lift it up and put it on a Hotshot. They take it to have it refurbished, and then maybe the Hotshot brings them another one back. So something like that. It's not something they ship every day, but they do have a need for it, and a Hotshot will take care of everything they need. So that's kind of a Hotshot versus Semi comparison to give you an idea of the differences and why somebody might choose one over the other. This has been Brock with Straight Line Delivery. Hit that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe so that you don't miss any of the videos in my series.